Good afternoon. Welcome to Be Connected World Tuesday afternoon meeting. Look, this afternoon we have got Nicole Catterson, who is one of our members. Nicole is actually from NLC Advisory, and what she does is she fosters healthy workplaces and empowers individuals. Nicole, over to you.
Yeah, I'll just share my screen if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can everyone see that?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. So Nicole Catterson, NLC Advisory, Nicole Louise Catterson, or what, AKA Next Level Cultures. So who are we? So NLC Advisory was established to support leaders and businesses with a solution that taps into the principle of putting people first. 3 focuses across people, culture, and organisational behaviours. In offering support to businesses without HR functions and assisting mental health and wellbeing in the workplace. Also, we're ready to provide an all-round personal approach to enhancing cultures and ultimately performance. So just a bit of a blueprint here that we've designed. So people are at the core of all we do, helping business build strong cultures by aligning people with purpose, because engaged teams drive greater performance. So just a quote from Richard Branson, take care of your employees and they'll take care of your business. So let's kick off just through some of the overarching offerings. So NLC offers insights and practical solutions with the purpose of improving culture and performance. This is carried out through conducting organisational cultural assessments and supporting individuals, leaders and businesses with the implementation of customised strategies, partnering with leaders to help them understand their place in the workplace. So understanding where they fit in terms of context in the organisation, reflecting on their own behaviours, their mindset, and what outcomes do they want to achieve as a leader. So just to frame this in a bit of a case study, so let's say, for example, digital marketing company with 24 employees. Their challenge, experiencing rapid growth, leading to unclear roles, frayed communication, diverging team behaviours, and leadership sensing that the startup feels were being lost and they couldn't understand why. So what would we do? A bit of a cultural discovery and a gap analysis, and how. So over the course of a few weeks, use some qualitative methods and some diagnostics to look at what could actually be going on. So things like a pulse culture check, anonymous surveys, one-on-one employee interviews, a leadership workshop, workplace observation are some of the activities that we would look to try and diagnose what's happening. And what was found here was that there were some unclear values. So what did the values look like? The company had the values on the paper, but the staff didn't know how to apply them. Trust gaps, founder dependency. So decisions when an organisation is growing, founders can continue to take on those decisions without delegating and can slow the business down. So solutions that could be implemented, things like define the real values together. So engage your team, values in practice, for example. Delegation reset. So look at who's responsible, accountability, a decision matrix. Culture kickstart for the new starters. So how does your onboarding look? What does a buddy system perhaps look like? And then ensure that there's a monitor and a follow-up. So in this particular case, there was clarity and confidence, there was greater trust, there was greater bandwidth for the founder to be able to go on and do and be more creative, to link into Angela's presentation. So I guess what we wanted to, when I talk about HR with a difference, this is where I'm coming from, aiming to remove the stigma of HR. And I'm sure many of us can relate to having to go and talk to HR about something. But in saying that, so what do I mean? What do I offer? HR consultancy might need to just come about from a purely HR need. So when you have staff, your obligations kick in. So things like understanding and ensuring policies and procedures are set up for the national employment standards as a minimum. And then looking at deliverables, so things like code of conduct. What does the reporting look like for ongoing monitoring? Can we customize policies and procedures for you? And I guess all of this can't happen in isolation. So that HR strategy needs to be linked to business goals. So again, a bit of an example and a case study around that. So business goal is to increase customer satisfaction by 20% in the next 12 months, for example. What's the aligned HR task? Let's deliver customer service training to all frontline staff and implement a reward system for excellent service. And how does this then work? Customer satisfaction is directly influenced by the people who interact with the customer. HR then play a role in identifying training needs, boosting motivation, tracking performance, and upskilling staff in the communication and service standards. The other part of the business is around the wellbeing and mental health stream. So workplace solutions that not only compliance with psychosocial legislation, but genuine initiatives that provide care and a safe space for leaders, business owners and staff. So helping businesses understand their role in Safe Work Australia guidelines on managing mental health. So being compliant with the Safe Work legislation, and not about just attending workshops on mental health. It's about integrating the wellbeing of workers across your existing policies, procedures, job design, job descriptions, etc. Just a bit on my take 5 on mental health. So it's not just HR. It's not just HR and safety's role, but they can certainly influence. And this is just a bit of a spin on the I guess the physical take 5, but this one's take 5 on your mental health. And for us today, this can also be in the context of networking groups, not only in workplaces, but the signs, some of the signs around that mental health and wellbeing issues that are potential. So reduced motivation, procrastinating, fatigue, increased worry, negative self-talk, for example. So again, this is our business talks about thinking about being more proactive, reducing more of the stigma around HR just putting out fires and putting out the fires on what managers and leaders can sometimes do. So in being proactive, what do we solve? What problems? So I'll go through some of these just quickly. So low employee engagement, for example. How do you know? People seem switched off. Poor survey results, increased sick leave. What can we do? Identify root causes, design strategies to boost motivation and job satisfaction. Experiencing growth. It's not a bad problem to have, but it can turn into it. And things like rising internal conflict, role misalignment, unclear roles, employee experiences. There's outpaced communication, it's not working, lack of frameworks, which leads to people risk. So we can look at things like strengthening company culture, using data to influence decisions, build role clarity statements. So I won't go through them all, but you kind of get the picture that resistance to change, how do you know? So change initiatives fail. What can we do? Facilitate change conversation that surface those fears and blockers early. High turnover, absenteeism. How do you know? We can't keep good people. Exit interviews reveal stress, poor leadership, or burnout. What can we do? Recommend retention strategies and some wellness programs, or analyse turnover trends and some underlying causes with you. Organisational learning innovation, for example. So we're more than just about managing the casual Friday. How can we work together? So you just need HR support. What about someone to help you navigate your obligations in the psychosocial space? We've got you covered. Or is your business or one you know of suffering from one or more of the symptoms mentioned here today? Contact me for a free initial consult to see how we can work together. That's my contact details. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. Very, very informative also. Any questions for Nicole? It's a real, let me say, stepping stone. You have to be very careful how you step too. Any questions for